Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's your boy Francis Lee. I know you missed me, but we're back. We're here, Francis Lee, for NYY News. And it's exciting times, man. You're watching this video today. The season opens tomorrow. We're ready to go. We finally made it. With minimal injuries. Some injuries, yes, but minimal injuries. Before we get into all that, though, peep the shirt. Come on, guys. I was telling you about the merch in the last video. I know it's been a couple weeks, but come on, it's out there. Go and get it. Look how good this looks. Come on. Lay Machine, the guy at the top of our lineup. MVP favorite. Maybe I'm pushing it. I don't know. I don't think I am. And LeMay was going to have a big year. Let's jump into it. I'm so excited the season's finally going to start. I'm so excited we're going to have fans in the stands. 10,850. I mean, when's the last time we got to see anybody inside Yankee Stadium while these guys are playing? It's going to be big. Opening day is on Thursday. And if you're watching this video, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow, opening day, we finally made it. We're back. So let's jump right into it and see what we can expect, right? It's going to be a little series prediction video, I guess you can say. We open up this wonderful 2021 season that hopefully ends in championship number 28 for the New York Yankees, playing the Toronto Blue Jays. And Toronto has kind of caught a little bit of the bug that's been plaguing us in years past in terms of the injuries. I mean, their big signing over the winter, George Springer, a little banged up. They don't know what's going to happen there. And as far as I'm concerned, hey, it sucks. But I don't care because it's not our guys. I mean, some of our guys, but not that big of an impact guy to us for once. So let's keep it like that. We're going up against the Blue Jays to start the season, 3-game set. We know what that's going to look like. We know who our opening day guy is. It's the $324 million man. You know him. You love him. Garrett Cole, number 45, baby. And he's going up against a Street Fighter character. No, I'm kidding. Listen, Ryu deserves all the respect in the world, all right? He played phenomenally with the Dodgers. I mean, really great season. And then coming over to the Blue Jays, you know what I mean? Not over the top, but numbers like that in a 60-game season, again, you're talking wonky stuff regardless. So let's not underplay what Ryu is. But after Ryu on Toronto, there's a lot of question marks, much like with the New York Yankees. But I must say, if I'm choosing between the question marks of the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees, I'm going our guys 10 out of 10 times. Why? Because I just like our question marks a little bit better, right? There's a little bit more of a veteran presence to them and a little bit more of a good track record. But this is not to say we can just look past teams like the Blue Jays, all right? That lineup is more than formidable, and we know that. We've seen that all throughout spring training, and I'm sure we're going to see that all throughout the season. We saw it a little bit last year. They're very pesky. They work at bats. Guys got pop. They're young. It's a great lineup, and you can't look past them. But with decent pitching, we should be able to get past, especially when they're missing a guy like Springer, which is supposed to be one of the focal points of that lineup. So jumping into this matchup here, 105 start, it's opening day. There's going to be all the pageantry and all the nice stuff. But when this game is all said and done, I'm going to go with the New York Yankees to take this one, start the season 1-0. I mean, we got our guy. We got our horse on the mound. Look at that guy. You see that smile? Come on. He knows what he's about to do on Thursday. We know what he's about to do on Thursday. Who knows how many Ks he finishes with? Who knows how many innings he gets to? But we know what he's here to do, and he knows what he's here to do. And 9 times out of 10 for us, and I would like to say like 9.5 or something at this point, the man gets it done. Garrett Cole, opening day, he's going to get the win. Ryu, like I said, it's not to undersell him, but I mean, remember the last time we faced him. I'm sure he does. All right, I mean, this was regular season. I want to say August 2019. Beautiful game if you were a Yankee fan. I think Ryu gets about 4 2/3 into the game, gives up 7 earned runs. I mean, the Yankees' approach that game was so patient, and we just kept hitting the mistakes. If you start with the same approach game 1 of the season, you should be fine. Ryu's not going to probably have he's not going to be able to give them a lot of depth, just like any of the starters are. So, I mean, once you get past him, it's into the bullpen, and you know what that looks like. But, yeah, I remember this game like it was yesterday. 7 earned runs, 3 of those, 3 big home runs in that game. Judge had a shot. Sanchez had a shot. Didi had a grand slam. That was a big blow. I'm sure he remembers it. I mean, that was probably one of his worst games of the season to that point. The future Cy Young winner and stuff. I mean, he was just like rocked. So we know what the approach is with a guy like Ryu. You got to be patient. Don't swing at the net. Don't swing at the the BS, the junk. Wait for your pitch. He will make a mistake. He's been a guy who will make that mistake, especially with a fastball, and that's what our lineup does damage with, like much of the lineups in the MLB. So this is what I'm expecting for opening day. I'm expecting the guys to come out and get it done, and Garrett Cole to get his first W on the year, right? Moving past that though, in this series, it's very interesting that the Blue Jays still don't know going into game 1 of the season. They can't announce game 2 starters and game 3 starters. Now, of course, by the time this video comes out, maybe they will have some more information out there for us to go and, break down. But at the moment, they just have Ryu going game 1. Game 2 and game 3 are still TBD right now. However, the Yankees, because we're a lot less dysfunctional at this point, for once, keep those crossed. We actually know what we're doing in terms of rotation, right? We got our rotation set for the first 6 games of the season. They're putting Tyone with some training wheels to get the season started off. I mean, coming off that the injury and little to no innings, it's understandable. He is a guy with some experience, but not as much as a guy like Corey Kluber. So it's okay. I definitely understand which route they're trying to go with Tyone. And it kind of works out because I have tickets to the April 7th game, so I'll get to see Tyone's first start. Maybe I'll have some footage of that for you guys. We'll see. Right? But moving after Cole, the next guy in the rotation is going to be this guy, the Kluber, right? This guy's best friend will be pitching game 2 against Mr. TBD for Toronto. And if we were going to lose a game in this series, the only reason why I would pick maybe this game is because going off of Kluber's last start, it wasn't the sharpest of starts. But it's Corey Kluber, and we know that for a veteran guy, spring training is not the end-all, be-all. So I would like to look at it in terms of like his whole body of work in spring training. And if we're looking at it that way, Corey Kluber looked more or less like Corey Kluber. And if that's how he's coming into the season, then I'm very happy with that. And I think he can still do enough to win us game 2. And it's, again, once we get into the bullpens of both of these teams, I mean, if I had to bank on who's going to use bullpen more in game 1, I'd probably have to say Toronto. So second day of the back-to-back, not back-to-back, it'll be Thursday to Saturday, but second game of the season, I'd say we're in a pretty good position to even win this game, right? So to win this one. If we were going to lose one, it would be this one. But again, I'm probably still going to pick us to come out on top here, which means I got the Yankees starting out 2-0, right? Cole gets it done, Kluber gets it done, and the lineup is getting it done. Not to say that the Blue Jays aren't going to score runs, because they will score runs. Moving on from there, we got this guy who was legitimately earned the 5th starter role. No matter what you feel about him personally, we already spoke about that, so I'm not going to get into all that again. But what I will say is that what he did do in spring training is something that is admirable, right? He came, he put his head down, and he got to work, and he earned that fifth spot in the rotation. Davey, unfortunately, he did okay. He did, well enough to win that watch in spring training, that award that the Yankees give out, but not well enough to get that spot in the rotation. But Davey is going to get his innings, right? I believe it was Cashman saying it, or maybe Boone who was saying it, that Davey's been told to stay ready at the alternate site because they will be using 6 starters at some point throughout the early goings of the season, which we all knew was going to happen with every team trying to find innings, especially in the early goings of this season. But that being said, Herman's our guy for game 3. He's pitching up against, you guessed it, Mr. TBD for Toronto. And again, I like what Domingo's done in spring training, especially against, the type of batters that he was facing. So I'm going to look at him to go against the Blue Jays and to be aggressive and to still continue what he was doing in spring training. The breaking stuff with Domingo has been surprisingly good. Not to say it wasn't when he was having that good year a few years back, but even Boone has mentioned it. Like, the lack of rust is surprising. I actually watched a few of his starts when he was playing Dominican winter ball, and it wasn't cohesive. I mean, he looked a little bit rattled, and it just didn't look so good. So the fact that he came off of that, was able to come to spring training and tighten up whatever was, shaky in the Dominican Republic, is actually a really good sign. So I'm looking for Domingo to, have a good start to the year. I'm sure he's looking to have a good start for the year. He's going to be super pumped up. He knows why he's here. He knows what he needs to do. He knows how much work is ahead of him. I think he's going to come out guns blazing. And I think he wins us the 3rd game of this series. And so that means that I'm predicting probably a 3-0 sweep. Not probably, a 3-0 sweep for the first series of the year, which a lot of people might say super optimistic, Francis. Blue Jays have a great team. They're going to be a thorn in our side all year. while that all may be true, the fact that we are 2 days, as I'm recording this, 2 days away from opening day, and they still can't tell me who's starting game 2 or game 3, just leads me to believe that there are a lot more question marks that the Blue Jays have than we do right now. And so starting the season, they seem to be the team that would hope there were a few more weeks of spring training left, whereas we seem more or less ready. We dodged quite a bit of injuries, I must say. But we still did get a little bit banged up, so I will talk about that. The guys spoke about this in the No Offense pod. You already know where to catch that with your boy Simonetti, Ryan Beck. They're doing great things. But yeah, so we've got guys to keep an eye on. The Voit injury was, I don't want to say 100% shocking, but it did kind of come out of left field in a sense. But worked out in a sense because you got Jay Bruce onto the roster, and that was a big question mark. You guys remember heading towards the end of last week. Jay Bruce is going to be on the roster. Cashman must be happy about that. We know Cashman's been after this guy for years. So now we're going to see, okay, what is it? Is there really something there that's going to fit really well with the Yankees that Cashman saw a long time ago? We'll see. I think there is. I think Bruce is going to do decently in the role that he's going to play for us as the season begins. I'm not expecting him to have the output that Luke Voit had last year when he was carrying the team part of the season and stuff like that. But I think Bruce is a veteran, and he's going to give us better at bats than we would be subject to if we had to move LeMahieu and put Tyler Wade in. I mean, you guys know what that's like. None of us like to see that. So with a guy like Bruce there, we're set up to have at least better at bats with than we would have if a guy like Wade was in the lineup because of Luke Voigt's injury, right? Andujar's banged up. We know the situation with Tauchman. He fouled the ball up. I mean, they're not ideal. They're not ideal. So I'm not going to sit here and say oh, I'm happy that it was. I'm never happy that the Yankees have an injury. But I must say, I am happy that it's just these people. Luke Voit does stink, but I mean, you guys know the guys who we're constantly looking at and worried about getting hurt. And one of them is Giancarlo Stanton, and he's had a phenomenal spring. He looks like he's ready to go. He looks like he's firing on all cylinders, and he looks like he is poised to have a phenomenal year. So let's see it. Aaron Judge, there was a big scare at the beginning of this week, right? Everybody swore he was injured. There's still people who are skeptical. I am a little bit less skeptical. I'm going to go with the belief that he was under the weather and there was the COVID protocol things that kept him out, and that he will be there opening day ready to go. Now, for whatever reason he's not playing opening day or not the game after, just opening day, then I can see, Yankee Twitter is probably going to go up in a bunch of flames. But as of right now, we're in a good position. We're starting the year more or less healthy, which is not something we've been able to say for a very long time, Yankees fans. I know. There's Zach Britton. There's Justin Wilson. Justin Wilson stuff looks positive. So let's keep that, at bay for now. Justin Wilson will probably be back sooner rather than later. I think what to watch for with him is when he does come back, is he 100% or is there something still there that's lingering? Zach Britton, that's tough because our bullpen just wasn't as strong as we would have liked it to be, as it is. But, Britton's a guy who's a veteran, is going to work his way back, and I don't know if he's going to be back when they say, but by July, some point, I think we do see him, and I think we're in a good position anyway. So, Yankee fans, get excited. It's opening week. The Yankees are back. We got the Blue Jays to start the year off. I think we're going to smack them around, and then we got the Orioles right after that. You already know what's going to happen there. I'm sure they are just thrilled to be able to see Gleyber Torres so early in the season. You already know, your boy Francis Lee, NYY News. We're back, baby.
Tell me what you